Cool, Evan. So thanks for being here. It's really awesome to have you, and nice to just sort of have a catch up. You and I were just literally with each other a couple of days ago, which was fantastic. We were just reminiscing a little bit about it. Before we get into the wealth weekend, do me a favor and just kind of give me a little bit of a brief introduction so that those that are watching can kind of get an idea as to who you are.
Okay, so I've been a dentist for 47 years. I've just retired. And so I'm learning my new career path, which is very exciting. And especially now that I'm involved with this wealth minders and there's some incredible people on board. There really are. So I'm learning a lot. And in terms of learning, it's showing me a completely new path that I didn't even know existed. So it's been exciting, really has, yeah.
That's fantastic. And tell me, before you met us, what were sort of some of the problems or challenges that you were facing? Specifically, obviously, in the wealth space. I'm not asking in dentistry.
Well, exactly what you do when you circle that the second thing of the setup,
with
9 steps,
the 9
the
steps.
9 steps,
Yeah,
the one you circle. My financial advisor, who I think is very good, he's been with me 15 years and he's always looked after me. And I don't think he is a typical financial advisor because he runs his own portfolio. But it was typically that. I didn't understand what he was talking about when I went in there. He could say, well, I'm going to put this and do that and buy that and change this. I didn't know what he was doing. Now, all of a sudden, I understand what he's saying. I understand where we're going, and I can actually ask questions and say, no, I don't agree with that. Whereas before, I just listened and signed the paper. That was it. So I had a very good session with him. In fact, on Wednesday, I don't know where we are. Tuesday, yeah.
Okay.
And I sat with him for 2 hours. Working out my retirement plan, what we're going to do, and now my generational wealth, where we're going with the generational wealth, what sort of legacy I can leave for my kids. And now I really understand where we're going, and particularly with with Corin and the Enneagram, that has helped me tremendously, not only in my financial space, but in my personal uplifting, which is really good.
It's amazing you said that. And I mean, I brought up that 9 steps you were talking about. And I'm not going to go into all the detail, but for those watching, there's effectively 9 steps to creating generational wealth. And most financial advisors are only helping you with 1 step. The nice thing with what you're talking about, Evan, is that, I mean, we work with the family office, but they're not the only people on the planet. But what it allows everyone to do, once you get more empowered and learn the education, you can ask the right questions to your advisor, whoever that advisor is. And I think that's what you're alluding to here, which is so important. Can you why did you want to join us? What was the attraction to kind of joining the mastermind?
I've been trying to educate myself, and you keep going to all these courses. I was very involved. I don't know if you know Vector Vest at all. It's an American platform, which is super complicated for the person who doesn't understand what it's about. But I was deeply involved with it with a guy called David Paul, who came out to this country. He was a rugby player. He came out to this country and he was an engineer. And he sat in the pub at Wanderers one night and he just saw all these castle lagers going down the counter. And he thought, somebody's paying for all that. There must be a way of making money out of the shares that those are creating the wealth. And so he changed into becoming more mindful of the stock market. And he was super, super clued up as far as the stock market was concerned. So I followed him, got involved with Vector Vest, and I started to learn a lot about it. But I didn't have a lot of money at that stage, and I'm a number one. Okay, so super scared to put money into anything that I didn't understand. And so it carried on until I got involved with you guys, and it gave me the confidence to actually get involved and actually do it. I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the action. And so now putting the two together is amazing. Yeah.
It's funny you talk about it. I always talk about the 2 things where you need like the education, the knowledge, and you need the ability to invest. One without the other doesn't work, in terms of that process. You got to have both of them. Tell me in terms
Yeah.
of you've had the experience of coming onto the different wealth weekends and kind of spending time and meeting the partners face to face, and obviously also spending time with like-minded investors. I always say in investing it can often be kind of lonely, and it wasn't even me that said that. Actually, Cynthia said that in one of our calls. But my point being, what's been your experience of not only learning online but also being able to get into the environment in real life? What I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be honest that I was very hesitant to come on this one because, as a lot of people felt, it might just be a follow-on, or just a regurgitation of what we did in the cradle. And then, especially when you were going to just put it online, I thought, well, maybe I should just do it online. But it's different. You go there, and as I say, the people that we met this time, I'm not putting anything on the cradle, but maybe because I know a lot more, I was able to integrate with those people a lot more and understand what they were saying. Whereas at the cradle, I was really a puppy dog. I really didn't know what was going on. So it definitely makes a difference to go to the live sessions, definitely. And I really integrated with a lot of people, far more than I did possibly at the cradle. And I think the more you do this, the easier it is to chat to people and rack their brains and see what they do and all that. Yeah, so it was really good, and it's a lot of fun.
I was about to say, we had lots of fun as well. So, anyone who knows me well knows that I can't only work hard. So, you got to have some fun in the process. Tell me,
Yeah.
my last sort of two questions would be, one is, if you consider kind of where you are sort of 12 months later or 18 months later, in terms of everything you spoke about, your knowledge, your understanding, what would have been some of the consequences had you not made a decision to join the mastermind now? 18 months later, if you didn't know what you know today, where would you be today?
Wow, I don't know, because I wouldn't understand what my accountant was trying to do with my money. I wouldn't understand what my financial advisor was doing. Um, I'd just I'd just be sitting there listening and not doing anything. Now I feel that I'm in control. I really feel I'm in control of my financial future. And that gives me a lot of confidence going forward, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's brilliant to hear that. Now, I mean, the word I like to use is peace of mind. When you're in control, like you're steering your car or your ship now. You're not sitting in the back seat hoping they get it right.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
And
yeah,
so and you learn so much, like that book that you suggested we read, Des Spencer, is it?
yeah.
Uh,
Gonna
yeah,
spend
I actually started it last night, and incredible. So far, incredible. I've read maybe 40 pages so far, and just it really does open your mind. I don't know if you remember what I was chatting to Susanna about, and
yeah.
um, yeah, I didn't want to sort of tread on toes, but I really didn't understand it, and now perhaps I will as I go through. I'd love to interact with her more because I think she's an incredible person. So we'll
No,
see how it goes. Yeah.
so you're referring to the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and that's one of the
Yeah.
things I always find interesting when people think wealth. They think we're going to go away and all we do is talk about money. And actually, wealth is so much more. It's about life in general, and et cetera, et cetera. And that book, by
Yeah.
the way, had I know people use these terms quite a lot. Oh, it changed my life, whatever. But it would certainly be one of the top 5 to 10 things that really did change my life. It has had a material impact in my own life. So I'm really glad
Yeah.
you're enjoying it. Tell me one
Yeah.
last comment is that so many people watch videos like this or come to events, etc., and like they're anxious. Everyone, it all sounds too good to be true, and whatever kind of stories people come up in their mind, and then some people take action. You're someone who took action, and I mean, I must admit, I just want to say to you, when I look at the growth that you've had, not only in business and whatever, but also just in your personal life of where you're at and the travels you've been on and everything that you've been doing. What would you say to someone else if they were sitting on the fence and saying, what should they do next?
Well, I had a long chat to Alan. I mean, Alan is in a situation where I was, and I had a long chat to him, and I said, just stick with it. The more you learn, you will take action. Similar to where I was a year ago, and I mean, I'm trying to get my kids involved. My son-in-law wants to start a new business, and there's just so much now that I can impart my knowledge to them, and feel confident with what I'm saying, not just saying it for the sake of saying it. I really feel I can help them on their journey to financial wealth now. So that to me is probably one of the biggest spin-offs of joining you guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Evan, listen, I really want to thank you. Thanks for the short interview, and yeah, it's been an honor and a privilege being on the journey with you. And I look forward to many more miles on our journey together.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we'll see you in Portugal for sure.
Cheers, mate.
Good stuff. Okay. Cheers, Scott.